Scientology so afraid of?
This is SPTV.
Hello, guys, and welcome back to SPTV. There you go. That's better. Welcome back to SPTV, where every single day of the week, we ask ourselves the same damn question. What in the literal hell is Scientology so afraid of? And in this episode, you guys, well, first of all, let's see if you can hear this music. Right? Somebody is searching for the right child. You guys, that's what we're talking about. In this episode, you guys, we're going to show you the cozy relationship that we kid you literally not, LAPD seems to have with none other than Scientologist Marisol Nichols. Marisol Nichols, you guys, literally, this is all a GTS away. We literally kid you not. So if you don't know who Marisol Nichols is, Marisol Nichols, here we go. Okay. So for those of you who don't know who Marisol Nichols is, you guys, that was too loud. I'm sorry. That was obnoxious. For those of you who don't know who Marisol Nichols is, here you go from GTSing. We found this little article here. Shout out to Heightline.com. 9 things you probably didn't know about Marisol Nichols. Marisol Nichols is an American actress who became famous in 1917 after landing a role on Fox Series 24, playing Special Agent Nadia Jassir. So it's been a while since Ms. Nichols has been playing Special Agent. Born in Chicago, Illinois, November 2, 1973, Nichols was exposed to the dark side of life at a very tender age. This hardship bred rebellion, and it wasn't long enough before she began engaging in the most self-destructive habits you could ever think of. Thankfully, she had the epiphany and decided to clean up her life, hence her interest in acting. Marisol made her television debut in 1996 in the series Due South and Beverly Hills 90210, which, fun fact, you guys, I used to watch 90210 right before I got abducted to work at those hotels. I loved it. I loved Dylan. He was my favorite. Personal favorite. Shout out to you, Dylan. Rest in peace. Her movie debut was a big one as she starred with Audrey, blah, blah, blah. Okay. If you don't know who Marisol Nichols is, you guys, here with a quick GTS, Marisol Nichols, she became a member of the Church of Scientology when she was introduced to it by her chiropractor in the 1990s. So, yes, this woman has been a member of this hotel operation since the 1990s, right around the time where I was actually child trafficked at the Fort Harrison Hotel. Since I was 14 at the time that happened. So in this interview, we kid you not, this woman started a nonprofit. The nonprofit that she calls Marisol Nichols for a slavery-free world. Imagine the lack of self-awareness to be doing a podcast, you guys, about, and to literally call yourself on YouTube Marisol Nichols for a slavery-free world. Never mind that Marisol Nichols has been a member of Scientology since the 1990s, according to what we just GTS'd. And hold on to your seats, because you know what? It's about to get more creepy. It's about to get more creepy, you guys. And that is because Marisol Nichols actually is interviewing someone from the LAPD. And he's just not anybody from the LAPD, you guys. He is actually someone that really matters at the LAPD. And it does seem to explain why all we have ever seen from the LAPD is nothing. And all that we have ever heard from the LAPD is... What are those called, you guys? Are those called crickets? Like that? Is that how you spell it? Like that? Crickets? Let's see if they heard it. LAPD? Are you there? Anybody? Hello? Hello? So let's get into the video, you guys, so you can react with me in real time. What we literally have on the public record, just a simple GTS away. So let's see what Marisol Nichols is pitching us on her Battling the Faces of Evil. Marisol Nichols #podcast, you guys. Go check it out for yourselves. I mean, here we're just here to react, but you know what? You can watch the episodes. You can subscribe, like, and comment on her podcast. Like, feel free to, make your own choice about what is being shared on Ms. Nichols' podcast, because she has a very strong purpose, you guys, to really, stop the slavery, have a free slavery world. And, she's so tone deaf that she doesn't even realize that she's the benefactor of slavery. So you guys let me know in the comments if you think she might be a little confused, because how can she purport that she wants a slavery-free world when she is being serviced by slaves when she goes and visits like the Manor Hotel, you guys, that's what it's called, or the Sandcastle Hotel, you guys, that's another place where she would have gone, or the Floating Cathedral at the Free Winds. If she's Ms. Nichols, might be OT8 by now. I mean, she's been at it for a while. So very, very likely she's all the way up there. So that means she has visited all manner of hotels being serviced by minors on her way up, all the way up. And we are going to be talking to Nora later on, who was there at Celebrity Center when Ms. Nichols just started on her journey to see what this was all about. So let's just check out stuff and react and leave it in the comments. Any kind of questions that you guys think we should start asking, because I think that would be good. Think of some good questions that we need answers to as we start unraveling all these things that make absolutely -0 sense. Okay, you guys, here we go. Oh, warning, some images and topics in this episode are graphic in nature and may be disturbing to viewers, especially children. Viewer discretion is advised, guys. So you've been advised and you've been warned. We're about to get into Battling the Faces of Evil. Marisol Nichols podcast, episode 11. My favorite number, you guys, 1111.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Marisol Nichols podcast. My guest today is my dear friend, Lieutenant Marc Evans, who is the officer in charge of human trafficking for the Los Angeles Police Department.
Oh, hell no, you guys. Hell no. We're going to interrupt this and we're going to get you the actual one where we see her and him in real time. We don't just need to listen to them. Let's also like inspect their body language. And we're back, you guys. Thank you for your patience. Here we go. Same warning.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Marisol Nichols podcast. My guest today is my dear friend, Lieutenant Marc Evans, who is the officer in charge of human trafficking for the Los Angeles Police Department.
I mean, do you guys need to comment anything about this? Does anything about this make any sense to y'all? I mean, let's really just kind of break it down. Lieutenant Marc Evans, you guys, from the LAPD. And for anyone that wants to GTS, you can find out quickly that Ms. Nichols just uploaded this a young 10 months ago.
Please hang up and try again.
So the LAPD took it upon themselves to get themselves a little, FaceTime with Miss Nichols, right? And let's just see what Mr. Lieutenant Marc Evans from the LAPD is in charge of. Let's just take a look what he tells us he does.
He's a 28-year veteran of the LAPD, and he is a nationally recognized expert in human trafficking, pimping, pandering, and prostitution-related crimes. Not to mention the author of the extremely informative book entitled Selling the Daughters of America.
Well, there you go, you guys. Selling the Daughters of America. The LAPD wants to tell you about that. And you know what? If you happen to be a mother that was able to sell their daughter in America, leave it in the comments and shout out to you. If you were a mother that was given all manner of contract and excuses to pretend and purport that selling your daughter was not in her best interest, leave it in the comments. And if you didn't get a shred of a dollar saved by, having that contract signed, if your daughter was a minor, also leave that in the comments. Those would be all very good questions to start asking ourselves about the situation.
Welcome, Lieutenant Evans.
Thank you, Marisol.
You're welcome. You like how formal I am calling you Lieutenant Evans?
All right.
Okay, so I want to start right away.
See how comfortable she is, you guys? I mean, could she possibly be more comfortable? Is that even possible? Because, I mean, Ms. Nichols tells us she is so comfortable with... Again, what is the job of this lieutenant again, you guys? Leave it in the comments. My ADD is failing me right this second. I need another sip of lemonade. A refresher. Yes, let's go. What is it? What did you just say?
With something that you say in the beginning of your book, Selling the Daughters of America, which,
Check it out.
by the way, if anyone wants to download, it's available on Amazon.
Yeah.
Check it out on Amazon, you guys. Go download it if you can.
That's Amazon.
Perfect. Thank you. So you state, despite what many Americans mistakenly think, human trafficking is a gross and violent crime happening in the United States, affecting thousands of young girls and their families. How long ago did you write this book?
I'm going from memory. I think I wrote that book in 2014 or 2015. I think January 2015 is when I actually published that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been interesting because as awareness of human trafficking has ramped up and it's become more prevalent in society, some people, they've actually commented like, wow, you were really on the front of the wave of that.
So you guys, we're at the front of the wave here, literally. LAPD, shout out to you. Front of the... This is where we are, you guys. So don't worry about it. If you're sitting at home, a little creeped out right about now, don't you literally worry about anything, you guys, because here we have the LAPD is at the front of the wave. We literally could kid you not, right? You know what? Let's show them what type of waves they might be in front of, you guys, because this just came in handy right about now. Do you see the waves waving around, moving, you know? Oops, I had it too close. Well, there you go. There's the waves floating in the Del Mar, the waves. Wow. Off to a bad start, you guys. And just when we thought we were going to have a good one here, you know, there's going to be a lot of silver linings in this video. So I hope that you can, you know, keep track. You guys are very good at keeping track. But the LAPD, you guys, not so good. Not so good at all. Let's continue to see this pitch about how, you know, human trafficking is a very violent crime, is what we're being told. So apparently the LAPD is quite aware of what a violent crime it is, you guys. Apparently we were wrong all along, thinking that they had not a shred of a clue. Apparently they've been very well informed, and they're, you know, writing books and promoting them on Amazon. Make sure you get it as soon as you can, you guys. Why not, right? Let's just see what's already on the public record. Let's just check it all out. Figure out what in the hell is actually literally going on.
This you really knew. Well, I saw it for many years. And the reason I wrote that book is because so many people, they incorrectly believe that human trafficking is an international crime.
Right.
And while that is true, there's also domestic trafficking, which is happening all over the United States. It could happen from Florida to Los Angeles. It could happen from A street to B street, from apartment A to apartment B, and even bedroom A to bedroom B.
Right.
And so I wrote the book to try to raise awareness for, you know, parents, aunts, uncles, school teachers, so people could know about the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much for wanting to raise so much awareness, Lieutenant, because maybe could be added to the list of reading for any of y'all Scientology parents that might want to look if this lieutenant's book has anything to do with selling the daughters of America, right? You should really take a look at that, because hey, maybe this lieutenant can illuminate you. Maybe that's what we were looking for. A book written by law enforcement is all we needed, you guys, and it's all just an Amazon click away. So go and, like, you know, type it in and get your copy. And then let's just start us a book club. And why not? Let's all read Selling the Daughters of America and see what we can learn. Because I'm sure we need to learn a lot of things, right?
Because I'm a big believer that education helps prevent victim.
Ooh, check it out, you guys. Education helps prevent victimization. Platitude number 1, Exhibit A, right there for everyone to see on the record.
Victimization.
Yeah, I think that's the year we met.
I don't remember when we met, but yeah, I probably wrote it a little before we met. I remember right along we went on.
Yeah.
And it was around that time before.
Wow, you guys, they've met a long time ago. Yay. I mean, it's not like we've been waiting on the LAPD to do anything, right, you guys? It's not like there's minors going inside those hotels, right? It's not like Zoe Woodcraft's story wasn't already in the public record how many decades ago, guys? And it's not like she mentioned LA. How many times in that interview did she mention decrepit, disgusting conditions? Zoe Woodcraft, for you, Lieutenant that doesn't GTS, you guys. Because you know what? If this interview was uploaded to the YouTubes, then this lieutenant in charge of, we kid you literally not, literally, human trafficking at LAPD. And apparently didn't know that if he would have simply done a very simple GTS, go Scientology, trafficking, then you go Google, then you go news, and then that lieutenant will get you to the headlines. So let's take you off this so you can really simply follow the ABCs of the GTS. So apparently you guys, maybe that's what we need to teach all these people. They just have no clue in the world how to GTS. But here, we're going to make it so easy for him. Here we go. Okay, get ready. Fasten your seatbelt, Lieutenant Commander. See, you actually are a Lieutenant Commander, right? We just, wear the hat. But we're not anything. Oh, but here you go. Church of Scientology leader David Miscavige served 27 times with human trafficking lawsuit, court docs, Fox News. Shout out to Fox News, you guys. Tampa Bay Times, Scientologists to rule on abuse claims against the church. Judge says Scientology leader David Miscavige served with human trafficking lawsuit. While communities need to know the truth about trafficking, Scientology's David Miscavige concealing whereabouts
in lawsuit from Insider. Shout out to you, Insider. Oh, here's the Daily Mail. Scientology leader David Miscavige is concealing his whereabouts to avoid human trafficking suit. Judge won't let Scientology David Miscavige dodge trafficking lawsuit. The Daily Beast. TMC. Sanitizing his image. Scientology leader Miscavige dodging trafficking lawsuit. Lawyer claims. And then you see his little photo that they went with. It's a little bit nicer. Scientology's David Miscavige can't be located for child trafficking lawsuit. Scientology leader David Miscavige cannot be found. Lawyers say.
So, excuse our naivete, gullibility, or just not know what in the literal hell lieutenant of the LAPD that runs human trafficking. But, why is the LAPD not giving you any access to GTS? Because that would be a very, very good question to understand for, those of us that were human trafficked ourselves as minors, like as younglings, as young as 14, as young as 13, as young as 12. And, I guess Miss Nichols got you so caught up in your feelings that, GTS didn't hit your radar. And you literally didn't think twice about taking this podcast interview with the Hollywood Vigilante, you guys. Hang on to your seats. Whoa. Okay, you guys, that's really too bad. Like, I'm a disaster with these volumes. I'm trying. I promise you I'm trying. Okay, that's better. Let's continue hearing what this detective, Lieutenant Commander of the Human Trafficking Division from the LAPD is going to share with Miss Nichols, you guys. Let's just keep watching.
So thank you for saying all that, because back in 2014, it was a different scene, right?
Yeah, I think things have been different. And a little bit further back, there's...
You know what? The crime has always been the same, you guys. The different scene. Oh, so many scenes. The scene this, the scene that. If people lock up your passport in a hotel, it doesn't mean what kind of scene you're calling it. It doesn't matter. And if you have hundreds of kids with lost passports inside a hotel, again, we would love for Ms. Nichols to explain to all of us minors that were stuck in that hotel with our passport locked by Debbie Cook, by Dave Pettit, to people that you're very familiar with, by people of the president's office, Mary Vogeting. She changed her name a million times because she kept getting divorced and married again. But you know that little president of yours at the FSO, Mary Vogeting Shaw? Oh yeah, married to Ben Shaw from OSA. Shout out to you, Ben Shaw. Shout out to y'all who have a literal Marisol Nichols eating out of the palm of her hand with this man that purports to be working for the LAPD. Let's see what else he's got to say, you guys.
There's just a lack of awareness, even among like prosecution and stuff like that. I'm not knocking any of them. Just we needed to raise awareness, and as social awareness ramped up and people demanded prosecution of human traffickers, and the laws got better and the prosecution got better. And so we are where we are today. And I think it's been significantly improved.
You hear that, Marisol? Prosecution is getting better and better and better. And the time for you to start acting like you care about trafficking, seeing that you have been frequenting hotels where this takes place at scale in unthinkable ways, that even this man cannot even smell the level of rat, the size of rat that's hiding right behind you, the one that you fund, the one that you have funded with your, what is it from the GTS we did with your $3 million that you're not collecting any type of money for, you know, trafficking awareness in initiatives, right? We wouldn't find any money at all being donated to you for your child trafficking, stop it all, stop the slavery for Marisol Nichols for a slave-free world, while I have slaves of my own back at the hotel. You know, but except that, you know, oh, but I'm a public surge. I am not a Sea Org. Well, you know what? Yeah, you're not a Sea Org, and that's why you get serviced by the Sea Org. So before you try to say that you're not the Sea Org, you are a public. You're one of those that gets the Sea Org members to run around you in unthinkable ways. And we leave it at that. You can explain to this lieutenant what those Sea Org members do to you. Save us the time to have to explain it ad nauseum, since we're already nauseating having to review this pathetic interview.
Yeah, I think so too. Now, you created the human trafficking unit within the LAPD.
Okay, you guys, literally, let's give these people the whole screen, because you guys tell me. I am speechless AF right this second. I'm trying to get rid of this stupid thing. I'm sorry, but
Which?
I don't know what in the hell I need to do to get rid of that, you guys. Sorry. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Marc Evans created the human trafficking unit with the LAPD. Leave that for the record, you guys, and let me know what you think. We've been screaming that there's corruption at the LAPD, but we didn't know it was a simple GTS away, literally one GTS away from finding this gold. Literally this, you guys. I mean, if only it was this simple. Let's see what else. Lieutenant Marc Evans from the LAPD created the human trafficking unit within the LAPD, and then sits down with a woman who's part of a hotel chain that has been severely, credibly accused of the stuff that she's purporting to be all against. I mean, I think we're going to go back to this note here, you guys. I'm sorry, but that is what we are going to call out. Let's go.
First of all, is amazing, right? So you've been doing this for a long time. Can you give us the scale of what you're seeing now compared to back in 2014, 2015 kind of thing?
So the scale in what regard? Give me, because
In terms of like,
scale.
Yeah. I guess in terms of, you mentioned that like people weren't even at the time, like DAs weren't exactly sure how to even prosecute this crime, right? Now everyone's sort of more caught up to the scene here. So can you sort of compare, I guess, the human trafficking cases, what you ran into back then, as opposed to now, whether it's prosecutions or cases or things that you're seeing? Has it gotten more sophisticated? Has it gone into neighborhoods that you never knew? Can you sort of give us like a then and now?
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
And just like that, Ms. Nichols is going to talk and get data out of this detective, you guys. I mean, credit when credit is due, right? Ms. Nichols is a very good seductress. We'll give her that much, right? Okay, guys, clap for her because she deserves it. She's played her part real well. Asking questions, looking concerned, wanting to really know. But what in the literal hell is this woman really wanting to know? And what in the literal hell was this woman sent over how many decades ago to go fraternize with the literal, kid you not, person in charge, the person that made up the human trafficking unit at the LAPD. Shout out to y'all at the LAPD that work in this unit that have never seen a shred of trafficking happen. At how many buildings these people have? Does the LAPD lost count of how many there are? Or what in the literal abominable hell is going on? Hello? Anybody there? Is anybody? Hello? Anything going on, LAPD? Any fraternization going on between y'all and Ms. Nichols? Yes or no? It's a yes or no answer. And I think we got our answer because you know what? They couldn't care less. Literally, they have not a shred of self-awareness, you guys. That's how comfortable they are, here showing up at this podcast to blab their mouth about unthinkable corruption in plain sight. I mean, if you could only imagine this day would come, you guys, where the LAPD would be this wanting to get caught. But, that's the one thing that L. Ron Hubbard did say, you guys, that the criminals always want to get caught and leave a million clues around. Well, you know what? Thank you, L. Ron Hubbard. Thank you for that information. We really are appreciating that information today.
So in the old days, it's very interesting. I told you on the way in today, I drove into Hollywood, and that's where I started doing this back in 1998.
Right.
And to be very honest, and I'm not being dramatic about it, I started in the human trafficking world before human trafficking laws were even on the books. Because in 1998, we were dealing with all these issues, but human trafficking laws didn't get on the books until 2000.
We're sorry, the number
there you have it,
dialed
you
is
guys.
not in service at this time.
Since those laws only went onto the books, literally this year, guess what? So many of us have experienced. We were child trafficked way before this year, 2000. Some of us as early as we literally, kid you not whatsoever, this year, 1993. Shout out to me, you guys. We're already in the year 2023. So 1993, 2003, 13, 23, 30 years, you guys. Can you only believe it? So Since there were literally no laws on the books, never mind that the crime didn't change, right? It's just the laws on the books that were added because awareness came in. Oh, well, you know what? Shout out to the awareness, you guys, because I mean, at least the laws got into the books. Never mind that they remained as toothless as before they were on the books. That's just another story. Okay, let's continue with this.
So that just shows you the evolution there until today.
Right.
Back in those days, we would bring cases, and they would be pimping cases. We would pursue pimping cases against people, and we would present the paperwork to the district attorneys, and we would have trouble getting cases filed because there was always the element of the victim was a prostitute.
Right.
So you got that person up on the stand, and that might be perceived as something negative. Well, now let's fast forward, and let me say one more thing. It was very difficult to get cases filed back in those days.
So, like, just for the people in the audience who are not police officers or don't watch Law and Order or anything like that, when you say, for like younger
that don't watch Law and Order, what in the literal hell is this about, you guys? Like, somebody that doesn't watch Law and Order that's where we get our information, you guys. According to Marisol Nichols, there she is on the record. If you don't watch Law and Order, you might not have the capacity to follow, because that's where we really should be getting our law enforcement education from, right? Just TV, because that's how we see this is all. I mean, if it's all just an illusion and it's all just like Hollywood can hire this woman to be the double agent and she looks the part, and look, it's got the Clearwater police. The LAPD eating out of the palm of her hand. I'm sure there's another Marisol that some other Clearwater people are eating out of the palm of her hand, because if they're doing that here in plain sight, are they doing it not anywhere else? Or how does that work? Right? All right, moving on.
younger people. So as a police officer, when you make an arrest or you arrest somebody for doing something wrong, you need the other side, which is the district attorney, to go, oh yeah, okay, we'll throw this guy into jail, or we'll charge him with X, Y, and Z. And so what you're saying is back in 1998, you would see cases of girls, I'm assuming, held sort of against their will and forced to do these things.
That's exactly what we're talking about, Marisol Nichols. Girls being kept against their will and being forced. And you know what? Google GTS very, very quickly, because this time we're not going to do it for you. You can GTS yourself. The video from Aaron Smith Levin that he just posted on his profile, where we literally, kid you not, a simple GTS away, and you will know that there's a girl from another state right now that was separated from her husband, that was forced to have an abortion, that the husband was disappeared across state lines, that they were there since they were 14 years old, that they're not being allowed to speak to their family alone under any circumstances. And it's all just a one GTS away. So not only are all those headlines popping up, but there's fresh cases, fresh blood that talks about forcing. That little hand gesture you just made shows us that, you know, your little body language is showing us a lot more than you lead on, right? Because you really need to know a lot of information from the LAPD. That's very important for you, the Hollywood vigilante that you are, to have.
And you had a hard time getting these other people to go, oh, like, oh, that poor girl, because they saw it in a way that looked like she was there voluntarily.
Bingo. You guys, give it up. Give it up, 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 give it up. That's exactly what it was, Marisol. They looked like they were there voluntarily. They went. Do you want to sign a 1 billion-year contract? You do? You really do? Oh no, why not? Oh no, you have to. Oh no, you can't leave. Oh no, you want to destroy the planet. Oh no, if you don't sign this contract, you are a piece of you know exactly what. And then they just went like this. And all of a sudden, boom. They were stuck with a 1 billion-year contract that got them stuck inside that hotel, that got them devoid of a visa, access, personal identification, canceled. They were owned and they were, what did you just call it? Pimped? Yeah, pimped to people like you. Pimped to people like you that were paying the big bucks to come get service at Debbie Cook's hotels. Come do your OT7, come do your OT5, come do your package, come do your clear package, come give us more money, get a tax write-off. The IRS is right there. They're waiting for you to donate, 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 donate. We really want to help the planet. How many children were running around the flag service organization when you were getting serviced? Why don't you tell that to this lieutenant friend of yours that you go back so many years with, right?
That's an element of it, yeah.
Okay, good.
And so now to show you the paradigm shift, and this is one of the things I'm like literally the most proud of. Not that I did it, but
it's okay.
Because I didn't do this, but just society has caused this evolution that I'm proud of. So
society has caused an evolution that this lieutenant is very proud of, you guys, but he's completely unaware that he's not preaching to the choir. He's preaching to the enemy. He's very, in fact, sleeping with the enemy. I mean, in what world does the person that has the job of, we literally kid you not, human trafficking, as he's already gone on the record how many times to tell us that he's wearing this badge because he's in charge of human trafficking. He figured it all out. He's so excited about all the great progress we've made. Meanwhile, every last child that was trafficked at the person that's sitting across of his desk has been told that they deserved it and that what they did was not that, because, you know, you can't call it pimping because your parents consented. Can't call it pimping if your parents got financial benefits from dumping you at the hotel. Can't call it that. That's called 1 billion-year contract, and you signed a contract and all your rights disappeared the minute you went and scribbled something. Never mind that they were screaming in our ears ad nauseum, and we couldn't want to just get rid of their stupidity. And sometimes we gave in, including but not limited to signing pathetic BS child trafficking contracts. There you have it. It's as simple as that, you guys. Literally, we kid you not.
To put into perspective now, and I'm going to go from memory, so don't hold my feet to the fire, but I'm not making.
We'll look it up afterwards.
But so our task force, when I started,
he doesn't want his feet to be held to the fire, you guys. Well, you know what, Lieutenant, you are gonna have your feet burned with acid by the time we're done. Literally watching you here, having not a shred of self-awareness about what in the hell you're doing and how much you're telling on your operations, on your abysmal operations. That as much as you purport to be the one that figured it all out, well, you know what? You didn't figure out anything because you're sitting across from a woman who funds these type of operations, who's using Hollywood, God knows for what reason. God knows for what reason is Hollywood so hell-bent to capitulate to every last shred of these so-called celebrities that are being used in unthinkable ways to manipulate unthinkable things. And everyone around us just keeps playing one four-letter word. It starts with a D, U, M, B. Playing dumb. It's called playing dumb. If you're writing a book about human trafficking and you haven't had a shred of self-awareness to understand what is going on in Miss Nichols' hotels, despite how many headlines for how many years, literally playing dumb. There, just destroyed y'all's ability to play dumb.
The Human Trafficking Task Force, we started making arrests, and our arrests, our filing rate was upwards of 95, 96%.
What does that mean, filing rate?
So that means every case we had, let's just say we had 100, I submitted that and presented it to the district attorney for filing consideration to consider filing charges against the suspect.
Ah, thank you. Okay.
96 out of the 100
Yeah, thank you, guys. We really are so in the loop now.
were filed.
Wow.
That was very different than in the old days. And usually those other 4%, like, why did we mess up? How come those didn't get filed? Most of the time it was because I had a new undercover officer who didn't understand a certain principle, and we had to let the case go because they didn't talk in the right way we needed them to talk when they're working undercover.
There you go, you guys. They don't talk in the right way when they're working undercover. Isn't that interesting? I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I'm taking notes. Like, literally took a ton of notes before doing this little review with y'all. But you know what? I would love to know what everyone else's notes are starting to say. It'd be very, very interesting for us to know. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, you guys, because we literally kid you not.
And it just compromised the case a little bit. So we dropped the charges were not filed, and it was a learning lesson for some of my newer people.
Right. So can you talk about this undercover thing? Because we didn't even get into that yet. So tell me about, like, some of the things that you would do back then undercover to get to these cases, to find these people.
So I have to be careful how I explain that, because I can't tip off people how we do the work we do.
Fair.
Oh, you guys. If you were scared before, do not be scared now, because he's not about to tip off the guys, right? And you just saw little Miss Nichols pouncing on him to give her the, what is it called? I think this is what it's called, you guys. The literal skinny. That's what it's called. Ms. Nichols was highly inappropriate, pouncing, eroding all manner of common sense boundaries that should be established, except that she is extremely chummy with this lieutenant of the LAPD, who, we literally kid you not, runs the Human Trafficking Division. You guys. We literally kid you not, we're only 7 minutes and 21 seconds into this video because we can't stop reacting to what in the literal hell this is.
I'll just tell you this.
Yeah.
Right now, we do sting operations against human traffickers. And I have a group of undercover people who are phenomenal workers, and they go, and we have techniques that we utilize to go after these traffickers.
Right.
And so I mentioned our filing rate.
Oh, good, you guys. They have so many really great qualified undercover people. And it'd be great to know why none of those great, incredible undercover people have ever had a shred of incentive to, undercover check out what in the hell goes on in those hotels. Because, apparently, y'all can't take our word. We cannot be clear enough. We cannot express ourselves well enough. We haven't been to the point enough. Everything is still very confusing the minute anyone says the word ecclesiastical xenu marovios. Everybody's critical thinking skills just start shaking and shaking and shaking, right? Or wrong?
Rate was around 96%.
Oh, their filing rate is 96%, you guys. And none of that has included ever a shred of filing against even self-admitted, including but not limited to Class A felonies that are discussed in full in Miss Nichols' hotels, where, those self-admitted Class A felonies just are purported to be able to float. And if anybody cannot keep track with what I just said, take a look at Danny Masterson, and what he was sold was going to happen after he had done some withholds. After he had committed some withholds, you guys, float is what they sell you on. Just come float it away with us. But, Miss Nichols seems to not be aware of that fact. And this man could not be more enamored with this honeypot in front of him.
And our conviction rate of those 96 was 100%.
Wow.
So we ratcheted up the way we worked. We took on new methodology. We started using, different technology where we could record things and stuff like that. I apologize, I got to be vague because I can't tip.
I understand.
Yeah, please don't tell us what you do to catch the bad guys, Lieutenant. Please don't tell us. Please, your toothless, ineffective, abysmal efforts to stump out a shred of the systemic institutionalized trafficking that's been supported by y'all for how many decades it's been existing, for God ever knows what reason. I guess you do get access to celebrities that do play cops, that do invite you on podcasts, and that do help you promote whatever book it is that you wrote. I guess it's that real simple, right, guys? It's not really that complicated, corruption.
Crooks, how to defeat us.
Sure.
But we made it so that instead of telling a story for the jury or for the DA to consider filing this case, we just simply said, watch this. And that really empowered our cases. And that's why the filing rate skyrocketed, and that's why the conviction rate skyrocketed too, because most of the people are just copping out because they're like, I can't fight this. It's hands down.
There's too much evidence. They know that they can't fight it in court. They're going to get caught. That's it.
Well, you know what? Shout out to both of you, because you just made our job even easier. You guys, I think we just all saw a breakthrough in the Matrix, in the glitch of the Matrix right here, you guys, at SPTV, of the highest level possible. If all you need to do is to see, right? Is that all you need to do to be able to get the convictions, you said? You are in luck, Lieutenant Commander, who is doing us the favor to speak to us by way of Miss Marisol Nichols. Guess why you just ran into your biggest luck of your career, Lieutenant? Because at Marisol Nichols hotels, when a minor is locked inside a room with an adult asking all manner of self-incriminatory questions that are very, very specific, including but not limited to, have you ever seduced a minor? Including but not limited to, have you ever done something sexually perverted with children? Including but not limited to, have you ever had sex with a member of your own family? You tracking? Good. So those are just including but not limited to questions. They get to those questions sooner or later, the more they climb up whatever bridge they're talking about. So please start tracking. Please. The video exists. And you know what? You're in luck too, because not only do you have a video, you have contemporaneous notes. So when they ask, have you ever seduced a minor?
The number you have dialed
And they go,
has been changed.
yes,
The new number is.
I
Please
have.
note, the new number is.
That's written right there as they're telling them, I seduced my daughter, age 9. There you go. Contemporaneous notes. Plus, we literally, kid you not, video. Okay. So we got both. Oops. The accordion went through you guys here. Video plus contemporaneous notes of the self-admitted felony. That's how it goes in Miss Nichols' hotel. And that is charged at a very reasonable price of including but not limited to $500 an hour or upwards. Okay. So there's money transaction, there's minors involved, they're all being video recorded. It happens in hotel rooms. They get locked against their will. If the minor is the so-called auditor, they cannot leave the room no matter how deranged the adult gets. Vice versa. If the minor is being audited, they cannot leave the room no matter what questions they get asked, no matter how deranged the auditor makes it. There is no possibility to leave. It's against the auditor's code. Ask Miss Nichols, your little buddy, what that means. I'm sure she can tell you what the auditor's code exactly means. She's very, very familiar with that reference. So I'm sure she would be delighted to tell you all about it.
Exactly. So,
Okay.
so you present a powerful case and you get powerful results. And then the thing I want to speak to regarding the district attorneys, that's been revolutionized as well as part of this paradigm shift, because before we would walk in and we would talk to the DAs and say, hey, here's our paperwork. And they would be exasperated because it's long and they didn't have the ideal victim. But now we have
the ideal victim, you guys. Yay. You have to be the ideal victim for them to care. That's what was wrong. We've never just been the ideal victim. Isn't that funny? Isn't that interesting? So everybody that was abused in Mrs Marisol Nichols' hotels, the ones that she's been funding, the ones that she's been donating a lot of donations there, if y'all are the ideal victim, contact a lawyer and contact, the police and contact whoever else you can that could maybe help you. But if you're not ideal, then I guess there's nothing else to do for you. There's literally nothing else to do for you. So we're only 10 minutes into this video, you guys, and we are already feeling nauseous beyond. So we're going to stop right here. And we're going to continue asking questions. And don't you worry, part 2 is coming. Part 2, reacting to this unthinkable corruption, unthinkable collusion, unthinkable sleeping with the enemy, unthinkable not giving a flying F to do a GTS to, maybe check into some headlines and maybe start pulling the string if the person that's being sued for these allegations is nowhere to be found and cannot make himself available. Why is the LAPD not pressed about that? And why are they walking around like they couldn't be any less clueless? Why is this happening? Clearwater Police, you too. Y'all are all walking around like you're clueless. Well, you know what? We no longer have to wonder why. Y'all are making this job easier than we could have ever prayed to God about. And this little video just shows a tiny shred of just how much corruption everyone's putting up with. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for holding space for this important conversation to be had. And thank you for everyone that wants to help us do something about it to stop and stomp out the corruption that we're seeing right here before our very own eyes. I will see you guys very, very, very soon.